I have a video here for you of a young lady called Ebony Wood, and she's part of the new breed of what you call a benefits influencer. And she claims that nobody can catch me cheating the system because I'm untouchable.
It's job sent a day. If you work a 9 to 5, yeah, you're gonna love what I gotta say, innit? Hey, listen, I deserve benefits, full stop, fam. I didn't ask to be born, G. So why should I work, you get me? When I get double sat on my bum watching loose women. That's why, respectfully, if you work, you're dumb, innit? But you're gonna love this bit. 100 of you reported me to DWP. Officially the UK's top villain, you get me? I might even get a BAFTA the way I'm living. Anyways, follow for part 2 where they try to cancel me, innit?
Quite good reporting, actually. You know, you could actually get a job and do something.
Just a matter of interest, Ebony. How much do you earn from sitting on your bum?
I earn enough to live.
Go on, how much?
More than you.
Well, we're paying for it, aren't we?
So you reckon it's $4,000 a month you earn?
Well, I'm not discussing my finances on here.
Well, you've come here.
Well, we're paying for it. You should tell us.
You
tell
asked
us
me
what
to
we're
come
paying
on,
you.
innit?
We're your employers, basically.
So you reckon that you're making?
I'm basically your boss, innit?
No, we're your boss. We're paying you to do these.
Sit
in your bed and eat burgers. That's what we're your boss.
Take a cut of every single payslip that you
get. Let me tell you one thing.
I'm basically your boss, innit?
Ebony,
we're your boss.
Ebony,
we pay your wages.
Ebony,
yeah.
if you think you're richer than me, I can assure you, my dear, you're very wrong.
We're considerably richer than you.
Why are you complaining all the time about your little bit of tax then?
Well, you don't pay any. Apparently, you've been reported to the
not.
DWP many times. What's happened about that? They probably just leave you alone.
Nothing, because I'm untouchable.
Why do you think that?
Because they ain't caught me yet, have they?
So he caught you. So you are are you admitting to something?
Well, I had free. Tell me, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, you don't deserve benefits."
Yeah,
or
we
you don't
can.
deserve
We have.
Well, no, we're talking about paying tax and benefits.
Stop for a second. Stop for a second. No, hang on a second. What you say? We can't sit there and say you don't deserve benefits. We've literally done that. We've literally done that. Look, we're criticising you not for the benefits. We're criticising you for being a lazy, work-shy, scrounging bum.
I'm not lazy. I'm efficient.
Lazy. I'm here at 1 o'clock in it. I won't lie to you, man. I'm here having it in it. Wagwan.
Yeah,
like, come on.
This is what I mean about you full-time workers, yeah? You just couldn't live the stress-free life that I live. You're just not built for it.
I'll tell you what, it'd be stress-free. Spend more than 5 minutes with you.
What I was saying was...
Go on, here we go.
You can't sit there and say, I don't deserve it, or
you
if
don't
it's not legit,
deserve it.
And like...
You're entitled.
Says, you're like telling lies to the DWP and that.
I've never spoken to the DWP.
If I got 300 reports from people on TikTok, once I got 300 reports, and then the second time I had 167 reports, yeah?
Interesting.
And how comes they ain't taking my money away then?
Because
I'm not doing anything
why did you
wrong.
say you haven't been caught yet? What does that mean?
Well, I just meant nobody can catch me. I'm untouchable.
A good phrase here might be, let he without sin cast the first stone. And I say that because I don't like to criticise normal people for their life choices. It's very easy to look in on other people's lives and point your finger and tell them how bad a person they are, when we have no idea what's happened to this young lady, the environment with which she's grown up, her parents, school, general environment, friends. I mean, who knows what has happened to this person to cause them to think the way they do. So that's the first thing. Of course, we can be slightly annoyed at her for her conceited nature, especially if you go to work. So if you go to work and you've got a young lady here telling you that you aren't able to relax as well as she can and it's a skill to do so, and silly you for going to work and paying for people like her to make double what you're making, ha ha ha, aren't you stupid, which is how she's positioning it, is obviously very annoying. But, you know, I think this is a signifier of a greater problem. Point number one to bring up is that unemployment is increasing, so this is only going to get worse with the AI revolution, and this is a very, very deep and painful problem for any government to solve. The second point is that even without those conditions, even in normal employment conditions, this is a very, very difficult problem for governments to solve, and it would take a very strong government to roll the benefit system back now. It would take something like a Margaret Thatcher or something like that, somebody to come in and spend a ton of political capital on fixing this problem. I mean, this is a deep structural issue within our system, the welfare state, and, you know, it's being abused by a lot of people, but which of our politicians are willing to stand up and fix it? Final point I would like to say is this. Isn't it a sad state of affairs and a sad indictment of our society that we have young people who act like this lady here? Essentially, she's given up. She's a young lady, a whole life ahead of her, and something in our society has told this young lady to just give up. And of course, once you've taken the choice to give up, you would have to validate that decision and justify it in your own mind, as this young lady is trying to do. But my question to you, and a question for our politicians, is this. How do you solve it? How do you fix a problem like this? And there is one surefire way to fix the problem, of course, but very few politicians would be willing to do it. And it's this. If you have somebody claiming unemployment benefit and they don't get a job within the first few months, you could say a grace period of, 3 to 6 months as an example. If they haven't found a job after the first 6 months, you could say to someone, right, well, the state's going to be taking 10 to 20 hours of your time every week, and you can start by painting that old lady's fence across the road, and we're going to send you to the park, and you're going to be picking litter in the park. Then that would certainly have an effect and cause people to want to find work. But unless we have a government or some politicians willing to go that far, unless the politicians are willing to take action of that level, of that nature, this welfare state problem is just going to persist and it's just going to keep going. It's been going on for decades and decades, and it's a problem that our politicians keep kicking into the long grass. But the spending in the West, particularly in places like Germany and France and the UK, on welfare systems is completely off the charts, and quite soon those governments, particularly those so-called successful governments in Europe, are going to be faced with a stark choice, and they will have to reduce this bill and they will have to take very, very drastic measures, because pretty soon the government is going to have to go cap in hand to the IMF and ask them for a little bit of a loan. But I don't know whether everybody knew this or not, but the IMF isn't really big enough to bail out countries like the United Kingdom, France or Germany. And sometimes the thing that fixes problems is needs must. And until then, this is just going to continue, but it can't continue forever, because the rubber is meeting the road at the moment, and the financial crisis is going to come down on all of our heads, and particularly people like this young lady here, and that'll shake her out of the mesmerising state that she's in. But I think you'll still have to say she's a deeply annoying young woman, telling me that thank you for going to work so I can make more money than you. Incredible, really. Thanks very much for your time.